Greetings, humans. I am Damon Foley.
And I am Commander Cockings and Stuart. We got an old ship. In brand spanking new 2022.
And it looks great. We're here to talk today, of course, about the Ferengi Marauder that we saw in the episode, Season 1, Episode 7 of Prodigy, First Contact.
Because we get a full Ferengi character for a good portion of the episode. And they roll up in a Marauder. And even when we think we've seen it as much as we're going to, we get more beauties. So I'm going to go straight to this first picture, the best three views. What do you think when you first saw it? And what do you think now looking at this all together as a collage?
I absolutely loved it. To see it just cruise in on screen and just be like this full Marauder, and I'm like, oh, because like as we talked about with our other review, of this episode, I thought it might be another ship when it first came in, and as you pointed out, I thought the same thing. So I'm glad you said it. This thing looks almost better than it did in TNG, even though it's almost exactly the same. It's looks so good in the CGI in the CG format.
That paint, that texturing is really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice.
So I was really stoked to see it. How about you? I was just, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, ooh, I wonder what Sam was going to think.
Well, no, exactly. I mean, Ferengi's cool, but they're obviously not going to use a Marauder. I didn't even clock in mind that they would. And so when the pins of things start to come out, I'm thinking, oh, new design. And when it dawned, it's like, oh my, they did it. They did the thing that we didn't think they would, but they did. And they didn't JJ it. They didn't Discovery it. They didn't Picard it. This is a beautiful, beautiful version. It's not identical, but it is basically identical, and it looks fantastic. It's a really good model, and just from a perspective of a modeler, and so clearly the character's going to come back. I mean, this is Dahl's mother, in essence. That's the character. This is going to be a recurring thing, and what a great thing to have a recurring thing. It makes so many legacies of Trek fans happy. It was used in 3 different shows, to a lot of effect in some. And obviously, when you get in DS9 and such, you only get the Ferengi shuttles because Quark's a poor man. And so, for the audiences that know Trek, a Daemon has a full ship, and the full ships are very capable. So it's a big statement of intent of, this is a threat.
Well, I did get the impression that it was just her and that alien robot cube thing on the ship, which this is a pretty big ship for just one person.
Stuart, more space for treasure.
It's true. Why are all the lights on that? Because you got to keep those treasure rooms lit up, so when you walk in you see the glint of gold. I mean latinum.
Yes. And before we do the correct comparisons, I'm going to give another. We didn't talk about it yet today in our recordings, but huge shout out to the cloaking device, because as soon as that thing appears, I know exactly what it is from the first frame when he's holding it, because it's used in one episode DS9, and the effort to recreate that in such glorious detail for that no one is going to know who it is until you see that. What episode DS9? I was like, good job, guys. And then we get the development of the special mineral that's on this planet is a thing that powers a cloaking device, which
is mentioned in Discovery as well. I think that's one of the things that was mentioned somewhere in Discovery. So
I don't know if that's an existent thing. I don't know if that's a full retcon to all cloaking devices need it, but that's pretty cool. And it's a fun little conceit. Cloaking devices only work if you have the proper stuff inside them. Yeah, but now you can cloak. Ooh. What do you think when you saw the cloaking device module? Were you like, I know what it is?
I didn't. I saw the Klingon writing, and then it's like, it's a cloaking device. Like, okay, thanks.
It's from the episode where
I know the episode. But it didn't recognize it. It just looked like a thing. So
okay, but I like it was nice to be one step ahead. So the first view is the initial shot comparing. Now this is the. Okay, so as we know, guys, the Ferengi Marauder was a physical miniature made for TNG Season 1, and it was used multiple times. Originally designed with lots of articulating pieces, but they all broke in its first outing, so it never articulated again. It was used again a little bit in DS9, but not too much, mostly replaced by a shuttle, which was easier. And then one time in Voyager, there was a CGI model made for the episode where fake Barclay is sent. You see a couple of shots of it firing a thing into a sun. So this is the CGI model from Voyager, done by Brandon McDougall. I think it's a rather well done 3D model considering for such a small appearance. So while not as detailed as the physical miniature, obviously it's still the most recent canon model of the Ferengi Marauder out there. And, I'm sure they had access to the miniature to look at. So it's a good staple of at least closeness. So yeah, what do you think now comparing them side by side? CGI version from Voyager, and then 20 years later, CGI version from Prodigy.
More different than I first thought, but I like the little additions that were made to the Prodigy one. I think it's actually a good evolution of the ship, assuming that it is just a more modern version. I didn't realize there were so many differences, actually.
Yeah, because the TNG version does have those 4 glowing grill modules. The engine lights, that is from the Prodigy. They just didn't do that in the Voyager one, so that's a nice carryover. But in terms of detailing, I mean, it's the same, except a little bit different, and that's beautiful. I really like the slight attention to detail additions. I mean, it's so close, it's really hard to complain about. But it's just wonderful texturing. It gave way more depth. You know, you can see how the windows on the Voyager one, like, just shoved into the hull. It's like, what does it? The other ones kind of work even better, but still feel shoved on.
That's why I like CG programs. They can really make things look good, you know. So I wish there was more kind of CG style programs.
But the next view is the top with a bit more clean lighting, and again CGI version of each verse, which is, you know, a perspective version.
A lot more detail on the Prodigy one, especially the back middle part. I actually painted one of these models for my adversary set, and I really enjoyed painting this one. I'm really proud of the one that I have upstairs. So it's nice to see this. It's a cool ship. The more you look at it, it's really kind of neat. So,
and what amazes me here is that they absolutely resisted adding more detail. There's 2 new lights at the front, and there's 2 new lights at the back with a little new area. All of the stuff is here from 25 years ago. The same exact hull plating lines, the dark bit is dark. I mean, they put real detail in, and they didn't say, "Oh, let's just make it more for the sake of it," because that smoothness is part of the design. You don't greeble it. You don't whatever. It's those small tiny tweaks are just this version. It's super close, and it's. I mean, you can tell on the screen. It's just beautiful. You know.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing more of it. She's got the cloaking device now. She's contacting the Diviner. Spoilers. So she's going to play an important part, I think, coming up. And
what's the reward?
Yeah, and any chance to see more of the Marauder doing things is great, because we never really saw it do much of anything in TNG. It was always just kind of sitting there, or, you know. I wonder if they actually included the articulation. Can you imagine if it goes into, like, the attack thing? I don't think it will, because it hasn't been, like, the standard. But if they do that, I'm going to give them a serious tip of the hat, because that'd be kind of neat to see some kind of articulation on this model. So
no, I agree, and that might be like the boss battle at the end of the season. She's trying to stop Dahl, and it's like, what can Protostar do? We don't know. Fire phasers, and then a Ferengi ship, you know, is a cesspit of potential abilities. Oh, yeah, we've got a quantum systems. Oh, of course we've got a thermomic net. Of course, what don't you have? You know, they just retrofit with stuff. So yeah, that'd be a very nice reference, or even new bits that move. You know, it'd be really cool. Yeah, a lot of potential there. I mean, Ferengi is such an unknown quantity, and you don't really get a sense if she's rich or not, or successful. They kind of leave it unknown, which I like. Is a certain ambiguity. She has a full ship, full Marauder, and a cloaking device isn't that easy or that hard to get. That's a thing to get and just lying around. So it's just stuff, but I don't know what they're capable of.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But I'm eager to see more of this ship in motion, because even just seeing it take off and then seeing the shot from, like, the ground, it was like, oh, that looks nice.
Now, what would you give this out of 10 as a replica, with a point scale being important, like, not, 8 point something, whatever? Like, how close to perfect is it?
Oh, 10. I can't see anything that I would want to add or change or, give them notes on. I mean, it just looks great.
I'd say 9.9 because I want to see more of it. That's why they lost a 0.1 point.
Uh-huh.
Is it their best model so far in terms of accuracy and vibe? Because I think it is.
I would say, yeah. We haven't seen that many.
No,
the Bird of Prey was quite a bit different that we looked at. So,
and the D was super far away, and so was the Maru. So, yeah, I think this gets my ship of the season so far award.
That's great. The Trekyards Ship of the Season award. We got to do that for every series.
That's actually good.
That should be a live presentation award show at the end of the year.
That's kind of cool. Yeah. Argue our case. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And on that note, guys, comment down below what you thought about this. Do you want to see more of it? Did you like it? Let us know. We always love hearing your thoughts. And you can join us for lives as well. If you click that subscribe button and join us for the lives, you get notifications, notification bell icon. You know the routine. Hit that like button and yeah, come and help us discuss great Star Trek topics.
And if you can, super chat during those lives. As a direct communication with us, we always read them out. Often can change the conversation, and it supports the channel to do this sort of video, which doesn't earn us anything on YouTube really, but we want to keep doing it. We need to keep doing it, so help us out via super chats or Patreon or join the YouTube channel. In those ways are really fantastic. If you can, please do. If you can't, don't worry, just keep tuning in. But if you can, even $5 a month, it makes a big difference.
That's right. So until next time, I am still Damon Foley.
And I'm an unknown quantity of what I could possibly do to the audience. They don't click next video. Because these are all good this week. They're all good stuff. Watch it!
Pathetic human.
Bye, guys.
Bye.